Yeah, I just came out of the shower. So what? I simply was in such a rush to tell you about this because I have just played what I can say is my favorite Resident Evil of all time. And originally it was Resident Evil 7 simply because of how good the horror atmosphere was in that game and how cool it was to go through the house and everything. The atmosphere was great. However, now my favorite Resident Evil game is Resident Evil 4 Remastered because I feel like they completely perfect everything they've been trying to do for the past 20 years, I think, off the top of my head. But yeah, the combat is great, but let's just explain the story first. So basically, we are looking at the eyes of Leon. Leon is a FBI agent, formerly a police officer for the Raccoon City, which went all bad and everything happened there. But he goes to this place to try and find the president's daughter, who's spoiler warning, guys. He tries to go find the president's daughter in this old town and in Spain, and apparently, like they're all infected, and he sees it with the last Plagas virus. He eventually goes down, starts killing everyone, finds Krauser, his old workmate, and he eventually has to kill him because he's gone evil. And then he kills like the leader of Las Plagas. It is a pretty normal story. However, they really do flesh out some of the characters this time. Like Louise, who originally his like entire role was to just die. He now has in like a lot more talking. He's more fleshed out. Like you get to see him do his own thing. He comes with you for a time, and he has a better death unlike Resident Evil 4 where he's just stabbed by a random guy. He actually helps Leon fight back Krauser for a bit to keep him alive. So I think that was really great, and how like the key to like stopping all this was also Louise. I thought they did great. I thought Louise was a really great character to look into, simply because he had almost nothing to him in the original Resident Evil 4. I feel like that's the problem they struggled with all the characters. You don't really see anything in the original Resident Evil 4. However, there's a loads more notes and things to go off of, which not everyone wants to read. And I feel like it was fun to read some of these. And Krauser having his own like secret base, it's all great. I love the story of how they did it here. Now moving on to combat, I'm not saying the combat's absolutely insane. It's nothing God of War wise, but how they've set out everything, like you can now block, you can parry, you can kick, you can melee, and it's so much fun. I feel like because what I've always hated about Resident Evil games is it really isn't that difficult. You've never really had a very difficult Resident Evil game. It's more been so, oh, you've been trapped in a corner so you can't do anything, or they used their ability and you weren't able to move in time. There was no actual skill involved. However, now you can really test everything to its limits. You can remember what move sets each character has, and you can go about that because some characters have parrying attacks, some don't, some you actually have to move out the way. And stuff like that is really cool. There's also stealth now, and the stealth is really good. I like the stealth in this game, and I always try and do it if it's given to me, simply because I do love stealth in all video games. But yeah, moving on from that, you can now like change. This was in the original, but the loadouts are still really good. Like I was running this like overpowered gun I found on a boat. It was this pistol, and holy was it great. I fully maxed it out. I actually did some of the side missions, which by side missions is kind of quite a big word. It's literally just I go around finding gold through a treasure map. That's all the side mission are. That's kind of my one of the only complaints I have about this game. There's not much to really do apart from the main story if you want to have fun. Apart from several ways, but I mean like exactly in the story. Moving on from that, I do think like some parts can be changed. More specific, the combat. Now, I know I just said like, oh, I love the combat in this game. There's one part that I really don't like, and it's how they just basically I played on the hardest difficulty there was in this game. because I wanted a challenge. I played the old Resident Evil 4. I was high on my boots, and it seems like what they do to like give you this like fear is they just start like piling enemies on top of you, and you just do not have enough bullets, ammo, grenades. You have nothing. Like there's this final part where I literally just had to keep on going forward, make three enemies react, go all the way back, get them killed, hope they have gunpowder, and if they don't, I just kill myself. Like stuff like that just doesn't seem fun. Like I don't know why there's so many enemies to like result in like the fear of it all. But yeah, I really don't think that's too much of a big deal considering you can just get better items. I didn't really use any other item but the pistol because I just did love it that much. It was such a good gun for me. Um, yeah, and I'm trying to think. The villain was obviously really good, and it was fleshed out a bit more from the original. In the original, like he kind of just died. However, like Ada really helps now. Like she throws down a rocket launcher like the last one, and you blow him up. And we also see Ada in a different light here. Just like Louise, she got fleshed out into more of a good guy role. I mean, she was a good guy in the original, but she just didn't really do as much as you think she would. And it kind of made me think that I didn't really like her. I didn't like her as a character simply because she's like off and on doing like whatever she wants. But now we find out like she doesn't want to get people hurt and stuff like that. And I've started playing several ways. I haven't finished it yet. But the start of that when she's with Louise, I think is really cool. And seeing other characters apart from Leon react is great. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say today. See you guys in the next one.